Alright, so we left off here modeling the face, and we're going to continue pushing forward, and we will start next on the nose. So again, I'd like to start with a cylinder, and in this case, let's see, is 12 too much? I think I'm going to do 8 with this one. And then switching to my side view, like so. Again, I'm actually on this one, I'm going to delete half of it. And then I'm going to delete the caps. And I'm going to go in here, select my vertices, and just drag over. Now I do need some extra, drag this over, and this, I'm just sort of matching the reference of the nose. I do need to add more topology in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my multi-cut tool and sort of cut in a couple spots. Okay. And I'm going to take this up to sort of the bridge. And I'd say that's a pretty good start to the nose. Here, I'm actually going to have this run up a little bit towards the center of it. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to bridge these. Okay. And actually, not yet. I'm not going to bridge them just yet. So I have this start to it. Now I know the nose isn't my nose isn't that wide, so I'm going to narrow it down just a little bit. And I could follow my front reference for that. And something like so. Maybe like so. And here. And then, again, I didn't use my symmetry on there. But I only need to worry about half of it. I can run a Control-Shift-D. Now it's a duplicate special, just for visual purposes. And at this point, I'm going to add one more, I think, edge loop here. Let me double check that really quickly. Because I'm trying to also incorporate the nostril here as well. Okay, so I'm going to incorporate one more. Double check my side view reference. And one more here. Because this is actually the start of the bottom of the nose. And now I'm going to combine these two and merge the verts. I don't expect yours to be perfect. I don't expect mine to be perfect. But we're going to give it our best shot. Okay. And this one, I'm going to match the sort of, make sure I grab both of them, reference sort of wrapping around for the nostril spot as closely as I can. Okay, something like that. Okay, and this region right here, I can extrude outward. Okay, I will have to go back because I'm not doing the symmetry and fix it. But from here, I'm going to just bridge these, and I'll do one division, and here one division, and then I'm going to merge these vertices, and then I'm going to take this one and snap it up here and soften edge. Okay, and now switch to my side view, and I'm going to hopefully only grab I just need this one for now. Whoop. I'm going to line this one up to wrap around the nostril. And as you can tell, I'm just matching my reference as closely as I can. And that might be out a little bit too much. Actually, all of them kind of are, so bring that backwards in. Okay, and this one can come out at just so slightly. And this can come in. And now I'm going to match this part of the nostril to my front reference. Okay. And at the end of this, I'm just going to kind of sculpt it in and smooth it out a little bit. And you'll see what I mean here in just a moment. And this can come up just a little bit, as can this. Okay. And this will be my nostril here, and I need to make one more adjustment to be something more like so. I'm going to extrude inward using my scale tool just slightly, and then I'm going to extrude upward and then pull in, and that's going to be my nostril. Okay, so that's the start of my nostril. Soften edge, soften edge. Okay, and I'd say that works pretty well. I could clean this up a little bit and drag this to be closer to the reference. And even here also. Bring that in a little bit. Oh, that's good because it's in the far, far back. So yeah, I could bring that in a little bit. And I can bring this one in just a little bit too. And these can come forward to sort of shape that a little bit more rounder. And this one in. And this one I'll bring it out. Okay. So far, it's starting to look like it should. Alright. So there's the start of my nose. And again, I can always go back and check the reference of our topology. And I'm starting to get this region. This, don't get me wrong, you don't have to make this exactly like this one. Just do the best you can. Okay. Here's another example of proper edge loops. You'll see this is low poly. Ours is going to be low poly. Ours is technically low poly. And shading, wireframe unshaded. Shading, wireframe unshaded. And you start to see that our model is really starting to look like a face. I'm going to scale this at -1, combine it, okay, and in here I am going to merge vertices, and in here bring that in a little bit, and I think I should have an extra edge loop or two in here. Okay. So, now that I've got that done, I can start to smooth it out a little bit, but turn on my symmetry. And get that nose going. Okay. And I have my symmetry on this time. Okay. Give it a little bit more of a round shape to it. Alright. So there's my nose. And maybe one more right here. I can always delete them if I need to. I can always add more if I need to. I'm just trying to get some good shape to it. Now this, I'm going to center my pivot point to the grid, holding D and X. And in here, modify, freeze transformations, scale, -1. Again, the same thing with the eye. And without the eyes in there, it starts to look like a mask, basically. Modify, freeze transformations, scale, -1. Oop. Control D, scale, -1. Alright. So now we start to see a resemblance to a face. Now we gotta go ahead and create our next edge loop, which is the that robin mask I had mentioned. So we're going to go ahead and fill in this orange color around. Okay? So I find the best way to do this, actually, I'm going to end up deleting that anyway, because we're going to start to, I just wanted to show you sort of the where we're at with the face. And you got to kind of just make sure that you've got it. You don't need to select every edge around here. Just enough. Okay. And what I'm going to begin to do is I'm going to snap this here, and that there. And actually, I think this one might be one too many. That one's good. And I can drag that out a little bit, as well as this one. Alright, and now I'm starting to pull this just out a touch. The robin mask that I'm looking for. So this edge loop's going to run all the way around. And extrude this one out. And let's just double check. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll just run this out to here, and then I'll just cut in a couple using my multi-cut tool, a couple edge loops in there. I'm holding Control and click. Alright. Now, I'm just going to make sure I have this snapped to the grid. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to fill in the blanks on this. Here, I'll delete this one. Control D, scale, modify freeze transformations, scale -1, combine them both with the nose, okay, and then I'm going to go through here and just merge these, and these also. Now what I can do, turn symmetry off, merge vertices. Oh, those are already good then. Merge this. Try that one more time. Okay, and then I'm going to run a fill hole. And then I'm going to start to connect my geometry. Using my multi-cut tool. Ooh. Alright. So now I've got the robin mask, and I'll show you what I mean. When I highlight that edge loop, it goes all the way around. In this region, in the eyes, I have my edge loops here in the eyes. I've got some... The nose isn't as important. And then I've got this part. Now, going back to that reference, I also have one that goes around the bridge of the nose, down around the chin strap, basically. So, that's the next part I want to do. Alright, so, in here, I'm going to take, I could run a symmetry on this, and I'm going to extrude. And before I go all the way through that, I think I'm actually going to go with all three of these. And I'm keeping in mind of my edges here that I need to line up to. And I'm also going to try to make this run down what I call the laugh line right here on the face. something like that. Okay. And I'm just extruding and rotating. Alright. In my vertices, I'm going to merge these verts. Alright, so these are good. Okay. I can snap this one to here. And I'm snapping these to match the mouth geometry. Using V to snap. Alright. And I know it's going to look really, really weird, but that's okay. And in here, turn symmetry on. Snap this one. Oop, wrong one. Snap that here. And snap this one to this point. And that doesn't seem to be working. I'll try that one more time. Yeah. So I'm going to need to create some extra geometry in here. I'm going to go ahead and just create one right here. And I'm going to use my bridge tool from this point. Turn symmetry off for this. I will eventually, and then bridge, mirror this just so I know it's exactly symmetrical all the way around. And vertices. And merge vertices. I know it's a lot of merging verts. Ooh, what is that? Okay. Lots of extruding, but do the same thing on this side just to make sure. And I'll run a object. Combine these objects. Again, we're gonna merge vertices. Okay, and always good practice to press 3 to see how your geometry is starting to look. And here I'm gonna fill hole. And now I'm going to begin cutting into the geometry. I know I can cut this one right here directly into the nose. That one here. Ooh. Whoops. Here. Let's go ahead and bring that backwards. And the other thing, grabbing my soft select tool using B and start to sort of just pull these back. And I'm only going to do this one up to this point because I don't want to affect anything up here. Now I will turn off my soft select tool, and I'm going to merge these. And I'm going to highlight the entire mesh, soften edge, and in here I'm just going to slowly begin to pull this face back a little bit. Alright. Okay. And create one more here and one more in here. And kind of do need one more right there. Alright. So now that I've got the start of this face going, I'm going to turn off my symmetry, delete half of it, scale -1, combine it, and run a merge vertices down the face of it. And there we go so far. Another thing I'd like to do is actually include one more edge loop in here. Right in here. Okay. To give me the geometry I need. And you're going to see this sort of spider web looking image that starts to go across everything. So now I can go ahead and get a little bit closer to my reference. And I'm going to turn on my soft select and turn this down and start to alright. Okay. Now I've got my reference pretty closely matched. It's always nice to take a look at it in perspective view. Turning off shading wireframe on shaded always helps. And another thing that I never went back and did was up here, I need to match my reference a little bit better. And bring that a little bit. Ooh. Bring it a little bit higher. And pull that out a little bit. Okay. And there. And these can actually start to be pulled back. Okay. Looks like I'm going to need to delete half the face again because I got some weird image thing happening with one of my faces. And I need to double check what the issue is with that. Okay, and combine. Whoa. Okay. Alright, I'm going to test it in smooth mode and see if I have any pushing or pulling on the verts. And I don't. It doesn't look like. But I do want to merge these two to center, as well as these two. And that was my issue that I was seeing. Alright. Now I've got a pretty good clean topology on here. It's starting to look like a face. If it doesn't look like me, I don't expect it to, just by, you know, modeling this directly in. But I'm gonna give it my best shot. So, one thing to just go ahead and show you, we have our edge loops wrapping around the chin. Alright, and then I've got the edge loops running around the mouth, and the little robin mask, as well as the eyelids. Alright. Now, what I can do is I can start to fill in the rest of this. One of the things I see right away is maybe I'll merge these to center. Now this is easily the most difficult model we've probably done thus far. And in here, switch to my side view. Okay. And here. And it doesn't look like I'm doing it to the other side again, which is okay. You don't have to flip it as much as I do. I just think it helps to sort of take a look at where you're at. I'm in also, maybe pulled that out a little bit too far. But and we'll see. All right. So now that I sort of have that a little bit better shaped, something like that. Flipping my face again, just because I didn't symmetry it. Okay. And start to flush out the face here. And I'd say that's a pretty good start. We're going to finish the entire face and the forehead, and then we'll get into modeling the rest of the head in another video. But let's go ahead and get this finished off really quickly. Well, as quickly as possible, put it that way. And this will bring down here. I got it going off my side view, so it should be okay. Alright. Now that I have that taken care of, I'm going to leave this part alone for now. And I would say this is probably our stopping point up to this point. Okay, I'm going to turn on soften edge, soften edge. One thing I don't like about this particular geometry is just this part right here, but it's not too big of a deal. Nothing that really needs to be worried about. And then Again, I also just want to make sure that I've got my laugh lines sort of lined up pretty well. Something like that. Okay. And I'm going to go in here and kind of sculpt around using the smooth tool and sort of clean things up and whatnot. But as far as our video goes up to this point, we'll keep it at here for now, and then we're going to start again in the next video, and we're going to start to create the ears and the rest of the skull. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.